Good evening, everybody, and welcome along to One Hub Racing Season 19. This is round number 4 of the position tier, and we head to the Circuit Paul Ricard at Le Castellet for the French Grand Prix. It's play host to the French Grand Prix since 1906, and it had its first F1 Grand Prix at Paul Ricard in 1976. My name is Jess. I'm filling in for Minty tonight as Minty can't make it. He can't make it for the rest of the season, unfortunately, so we need to find a replacement. So I'm filling in for the time being. But joining the position tier commentary box, as per usual, we got Jamie. How you doing?
Yeah, good evening, everybody. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this Paul Ricard track, which I think on F1 game it's quite fun, and you can definitely get some good battles around here. As we've got a 5.8 kilometre circuit of 3.6 miles. We've got 15 corners, a 27 lap race, and the strategy's interesting around here because the last around 8 laps, and you might see, if it's a dry race, I think we may see some divergent strategy. You may see drivers either doing 2 sets of mediums or 2 sets of soft, so that could be one to keep an eye out for. And of course, because the track is so expansive, safety car chances around here are quite minimal compared to, say, Hungary last week.
Yeah, because we got a safety car in our race earlier in Prospect, which didn't help many of us because most of us had to go onto the hard compounded tyres. But yeah, and most other things are quite common is the rain as well. We didn't get it in Prospect, but I know in the other tiers they may have had some chance of rain. I think it rained last season as well for us, and I think in the position tier as well. So the weather conditions could play a factor, of course. If you missed last week, we were at the Hungaroring for round number 3, and we saw Larkin take his first win of the season, which was great to see. And we saw Scorpion Hun, who had a really good comeback. He finished in P2, and then we got Glock that finished in 3rd, Chris in 4th. We had a double Aston Martin in the top 4. Johannes actually scored quite a lot of points after having a dismal qualifying once again. He finished in 5th. He got one of the Driver of the Day nominations along with Scorpion Hun. Then we had Verheyen in 6th. Then we got Lukey in 7th. Casper finished 8th. Colin finished 9th. And White Fountain finished 10th. And Carl finished 11th. And no one got the final point because everyone else below 12th DNF'd, and pole and fastest lap inside the top 10 went to Glock, and the fastest lap outside the top 10 went to Carl. So Carl picked 2 points down. It's quite a close tier, but we're seeing usually the usual people at the front, but we're seeing people just sneaking in a few points here and there, and consistency is key, as we found out earlier on in Prospect around this track. So I think it's going to be very key tonight.
Yeah, do expect to see a lot of corner cut penalties, track extension penalties, and yeah, that's crucial. And actually, if you keep it clean, you could jump 4 or 5 places at the end of the race. So that could be a thing to keep an eye out for. And also, there is a few glitches, I believe, and the stewards are keeping an eye out for. So if you see drivers track extending and taking advantage, then they may get reported to the stewards because there are a few glitches with the track extension on this circuit.
Yeah, I think it's around about turn 7 when someone showed us the video around there as well. So people need to watch out for that. And if they do get caught and someone reports that, they will get a penalty. So we'll look at the drivers' standings actually in round 4. And it's Verheyen that leads the championship standings on 43 points, closely followed by Scorpion Hun. 4 points separate between those two. Glock is in 3rd in the championship. They're in the running for the prizes at the moment. Chris is in 4th, 2 points behind Glock. And we have Larkin in 5th, J-Luke in 6th. He didn't score any points last week, so he was looking for something better this week. Carl in 7th, who's an ERT driver. Johannes in 8th, Lukey in 9th, and Casper rounds up your top 10. And then we got Nick in 11th, ERT driver on 13 points. Colin in 12th on 9th. 9 points. Janel in 13th on 8th. He's an ERT driver. Lakitu in 14th on 5. 15th, White Fountain on 3. And all those top 15 are either ERT drivers or race premium. And they got points. The people without points is 16th place Riley Byers, who's a race premium driver. Vitality, Sonny Bob, Ali B, who's also a race premium driver, and Battle Angel as well. I don't believe we don't have any new drivers. I think we're expecting 18 or 19 drivers in position tonight. So I think we're just waiting on a couple more as well. But, you know, Verheyen is doing well at the moment, keeping it consistent. But I think he needs to score some more podiums if he wants to solidify himself being the main championship contender, because he is where he is at the moment, but he doesn't want to be where he was last season, where he just lost out due to careless mistakes.
Yeah, I mean, look behind him, you've got like Glock, Scorpion, Chris, Larkin, Jay, Luke and Kyle. They're all really fast drivers, and yeah, Verheyen only got 6th place last week. He'd be looking to maybe try and get back on that podium catching form, which he did early on the season. And actually, an interesting fact about the drivers that haven't scored a point, none of them have actually finished a race yet. So hopefully they can do that again. We've had a lot of DNFs this season, so hopefully around a wide, expansive track, we should get less of that. And also, I'll quickly mention our hot and cold list. Obviously, this is every week we get this. And the hot driver last week was Scorpion, and it was mentioned that he should have a small advantage in the title race after last week's P2, but this is far from over his championship race with the likes of Glock behind. He cannot take his eye off the ball. And the cold list was Ali, yet to score a point, but to do this he must first finish. Another driver to get DNF. How badly has his confidence been hit? I believe Ali is not here tonight, so he will not be able to finish the race tonight.
Yeah, so I think another did not finish for him as well. And again, he forgot about the Taz as well for putting his telemetry on restricted as well, which is not ideal as well. So he's getting more penalty points added to his name. So I guess he's probably relieved he's going to miss the Paul Ricard track tonight. Constructors' championships are as follows. Aston Martin with Chris and Scorpion are leading the way with 76 points. Red Bull in second on 59. Third is Haas with 43. Fourth is Mercedes on 26. Fifth is Williams with 23. Sixth is McLaren on 22. Seventh is Alpine on 16, joint with Alfa Romeo. Ninth is Ferrari also on 16, and AlphaTauri is last on 13 points. So particularly the bottom half of the championship in the constructors are looking very, very close indeed. And with some drivers missing, I think some of the constructors are not going to score as big tonight than we once feared. But Aston Martin leading the way, but I think Red Bull are going to be up there too with a strong pairing of Glock and Kyle.
Yeah, Kyle needs to get some more points. You've got that podium Australia, but a 10th and 11th finish since then. It's not what Red Bull needs. And also mention Haas, obviously Verheyen is leading the championship, but he's a one-man band at the moment. His teammates not scoring any points, and he won't tonight, and that's really affected them. And I believe Aston Martin have got the strongest pairing. Obviously, Chris and Scorpion, they are previous constructors champions, and they work really well as a team. Obviously, they did used to like each other, I believe. And even season 16 around here, I believe they had a run-in around here, and they got taken to stewards, but they have kissed and made up since then, and now they seem to be the best of friends, and they both ditched Lukey, they both promised to be Lukey's teammate, but Lukey has been abandoned by himself.
Oh, to be honest, I feel bad for Lukey, to be honest, but he's got a good relationship around with Sonny Bob as well, but you know, sometimes you got to have a good relationship. If you get forced to be in a team like Lukey is, then that might hurt your chances with the constructors, which is not ideal, of course. Where we were last in France was last season, of course, and in the position tier, it was Danestar that won that race, and obviously he's now in the pinnacle tier, so I wonder how he's going to get on there, but looking at the drivers that have been in one hub before that has previously won, one name draws to mind, and that is JM69, who had a very good race around there in the podium tier last season as well. And I think Ali B also had a good race as well, but he is not here tonight as well. But JM, basically this last couple of races, pretty much all season, he's had a bad qualifying, but he's very strong in the race. But imagine what he's going to be like in qualifying if he has a good qualifying. If he has a good qualifying, he's probably going to score big for sure in the race and potentially get that win. He's in the Ferrari for a reason, and Ferrari needs to move up in the constructors' battle, because I think Ferrari's a one-man band as well with JM69, with some of the other Ferrari powered engines not scoring any points. So JM needs to pick up a bit, but knowing he's won last season, he should be okay, I think, around this track.
Yeah, it should be a good one. And yeah, we had the bizarre situation last week, having Mercedes and Ferrari going to last week tied for last in the Constructors' Championship. So that's very rare. You see that two teams, obviously the top echelons of one hub racing, as the competition is about to begin now. And yeah, JM, he saved all his crashes for qualifying, which, well, if you're going to crash out, you might as well do it in qualifying in the race. But yeah, JM will want to qualify a bit higher up around here, because as I mentioned earlier, the DRS trains around here are quite a factor. So if you qualify on the back, you may find it quite difficult to overtake.
Yes, I can speak from experience. I started near the back in the prospect here earlier because I stupidly invalidated my final lap, which could have meant I could have qualified P13, but instead I qualified P16. And yeah, the dirty air around here is an absolute nightmare as well. And if you can't get past, especially if you're on those soft compounder tyres, as someone else found out earlier on today as well, then your temperatures are going to be absolutely hot, and you may have to pit absolutely earlier for that, as I think we're about to get underway. But there was a lot of questions asked in the pre-race interviews for this race, and one of the questions asked how much of a relief it is to be a location where the barriers aren't as foreboding, because obviously the barriers are pretty much non-existent around this track as well. For the majority of the drivers, a lot of the drivers are quite relieved, but Chris is actually predicting a safety car could still somehow be caused. White Fountain is much stronger when the barriers and gravel are closer, as he's able to handle those circumstances. All mistakes can be made without being punished, so less opportunity to benefit from the failures of others. Lukey said it makes it easier to not hit a wall, but easier to extend the track limits. Casper said it doesn't really matter, and he's trying to minimise mistakes every week, no matter if the walls are close or far. Janel said it's a huge blessing, same with Colin. Scorpion says the barriers don't really bother me. And Nick says, I don't mind barriers except in the case at Monaco, but he loves this track. So much fun to drive, but he's not gonna like the weather around here because it is full wet conditions here at Paul Ricard.
Yeah, it's going to be storm all the way through qualifying. And look at the race. We've got a very interesting race weather forecast. We've got a cloudy start and you're going to overcast, and then 30 minutes in the race with predicted light rain, and then 45 minutes race, which will be towards the end of the race, with storm. So we're going to have a very changeable weather for the race, which makes this race, which makes it very unpredictable, and it makes setups very interesting. Do you go for a dry setup and suffer at the end, or do you put a bit of more of a wetter setup on and maybe take a bit of pain at the start of the race but gain at the end of the race? And in qualifying, of course.
Yes, indeed. And I think some of the drivers were asked on whether Paul Ricard will give them a decent opportunity to score points. Colin thinks so, because he can definitely continue his point run as well. Scorpion loves this track. He scored well here in the past as well. He's currently in the pits at the moment. I'll pick out a few because obviously we want to go for a few quali laps and a few more media day stuff as well. White Fountain has never been very strong around here. Well, he's probably playing it out because sometimes he's very strong.
But he's just proven that case there because he's just spun it on his out lap. Oh. So White Fountain, you put. I don't know if you call that curse because you mentioned you didn't like track, but yeah, he spun it on his out lap, I believe. Whereabouts is that? It's in the
just past turn 10.
Yeah, turn 10. Yeah, that's a very different corner in the dry. So in the wet, it could be very treacherous. And yeah, I did some running around here for my practice, and yeah, I found the full wets very difficult. But I think the inters, it seems quite fun in the inters. But I think these drivers might should go on the full wets. But we've got Colin who said the more rain the better. So expect to see Colin do well because he was asked that in his pre-race interview.
Yeah, he was very good in the dry practice as well that we were doing earlier. He was setting some very good lap times. I'm just trying to see who's the furthest on the lap. Sonny's actually gone into the pits, actually, which is not ideal. But Verheyen is starting his lap on the wet tyres now as he heads towards turn 1 and now turn 2. Easy to invalidate if you go wide, and especially in these wet conditions, I think we're going to see a lot of invalidations around here. Now you pass turn 3, 4 and 5. You've got to be careful with the understeering nature of the track, as Sonny unfortunately has retired from the session. Watch out for turn 6 and 7, whereas a few people have gone wide with the track limits, of course, but if you run wide there, you're probably going to end up in a spin. It looks like Verheyen's not looking too confident in the wet at the moment, but we'll see his sector times as he heads towards turn 8. He's not going to get any toe from anyone as he slips into around about 4th gear on exit, heading towards turn 9. Now clips that left curb a little bit, very close to an invalidation. Now he's not purple in sector 1, so he's not going to be high up there at the moment. Purple sector 1 at the moment belongs to ERT Kyle at the moment, so he's looking good. And purple sector 2 belongs to J-Luke, so looking good for him so far. Past turn 10 into turn 11 as well. Make sure that you move over to the right a little bit to get a good exit heading in towards turn 12. He's looking decent so far in sector 2. A lot better than sector 1, I have to say. Heading towards the final sector. Let's see what he could do here as he passes the pit entry and his teammate not doing as well, but for him, he's going to see if he can set the first lap time on the board. The bench lap time for the Haas driver is going to be, as he comes across the line, a 1:42.906 for Verheyen. But I think a few people can go quicker than that. Janel is going through turn 12 now. Glock just set the fastest lap time, 1:42.5. And Jamie is setting 1:43.2. But Purple Final Sector at the moment belongs to Glock. But is Janel going to do any better and have a miraculous final sector? He's going to get a tow from Mr. Riley Byes in the McLaren. So Janel, who was in, I believe, Pinnacle previously, can only manage 6th fastest, slowest out of all the runners so far.
No, not good at him. And the reason why Sonny Bob retired is because I believe he's outlap and came back in because he's got a qualifying ban, so that's the reason why he retired.
Yeah.
Sonny Bob has a qualifying ban from Instant Australia. He wasn't racing last week, so that's why he's done a qualifying ban. And Larkin was the pole position. Larkin, he got pole in Bahrain, he got inherited when Glock got grid penalty, but yeah, Larkin showing his authority there. He's looking to maybe try and get back at Championship Hunt, which he did last week.
Yep, he did, and he was also called into the drivers' press conference this week, and the question was, you've been struggling to recapture your best form of late, but are you finally back after your win from last week? And Larkin was asked, in my defence, Austria is a terrible track. I was doing quite well for most of Bahrain. I'm at the wheel, man. I'm doing my thing. Larkin is back, and he's definitely looking comfortable at the moment. Someone else is looking confident. It's Chris, 1:42.1, and if it's just me, the conditions are getting so much more worse. It's like almost monsoon conditions. You can barely see. So that's why a lot of people are on the racetrack at the moment. And if you haven't got a lap time now, you're probably not going to go much quicker. So standing water is more than anything right now. So don't expect any times to go quicker unless you're a king of the wet conditions, as Colin heads towards the final corner now on the start finish straight. His exit there was looking very promising. So I think this could be a good lap time for the Williams driver. Was promoted from podium last season, can only manage 12th, but don't forget the top 12 score points, so it's not too bad, and he scored points in every single race this season, so I'm sure he wouldn't mind P12, but I'm sure he's expecting higher. Riley Byte also about to finish his lap, and with only a few wet tyres available for the weekend, expect a lot of drivers to go on more than one lap on these wet tyres, and not many people will go into the pits. So Riley Byte comes across the line, and it's going to be a 1:57.8, so not good lap at all. Same with Vitality, so they must have struggled there.
Yeah, Riley Byes lost a lot of time in the final sector. He must have had a bit of moment there with Vitality as well. And yeah, actually, I'm struggling. I don't know about you, but there's some of these camera angles, you can't hardly see the cars because of the rain. This is horrific. If this was real life, it would be red flag for sure, but we don't have red flags in this game. We're just going whatever weather. And yeah, these drivers, I've got to give testament to them. Not one of them's actually crashed out yet. We've had a few spins, but yeah, they're doing really well to keep it on the road. As you've got JM, I believe, spun round. Yeah, we'll see a lot of yellow flags and spins, but yeah, these drivers are showing great car control. As I mentioned that, I've gone on board with Kyle, and he spins it, and so yeah, I like to give the curse to these drivers, I think.
I think I did as well. Now it was your turn just now on Kyle. So there we go. It's 1-1 for the curses there at the moment. So Lukey's the only driver to not set a lap. White Fountain's gone for a bit of a moment as well. Who's about to cross the line to finish their lap? We got an Alpine of... no, haven't got an Alpine. We got a Williams driver. It's hard to tell with the colours on this track as Colin Mason goes out again for one final lap. I'm sure we need to find a few more terms. I think it's that exit was not good compared to what it was last time, so I don't think it's going to be an improvement. No, he was 2 attempts down on that lap. I think Nick will be coming across the line. Nope, he's in the pits. Both Alpines are in the pits. Oh, Carl, you don't want to be doing that, my friend, as he's just binned it there in. I can't remember what corner that is, but yeah, there's a few people seem to be struggling with these conditions at the moment as it gets worse, and so yeah, I don't think we're going to see many more lap times on the board. I think we just get slower and slower as Riley Byes pops in into the pits, as does a few other drivers. Larkin is braving the conditions, so is Glock, so if they could get Pom in these conditions, then watch out for those two in the race once we get stormy conditions towards the end.
Yeah, we're seeing no green sector at the moment. Yeah, this track's getting worse, and actually the track temperature is dropping. We've actually got the rare situation where the track temperature is actually lower than the air temperature. So
wow.
I don't think that ever happens before. But yeah, the track temperature is 21 degrees, and the air temperature is it should be a good one. As obviously last week we had one We had stewards last week. We had one penalty. We had an incident involving Glock and White Fountain. Obviously, there's a bit of contact into turn 2. Glock got a 5-second penalty for that, but did not affect his position. We also had an overtake at turn 4 between White Fountain and Larkin that was investigated. White Fountain put in the stewards, but the stewards decided that Larkin did overtake on the tracks. He just had enough on the tracks so that he was able to keep the race win. It was under a bit of contention by the stewards, but Larkin, thank you for him, he was able to keep the race win.
Yeah, so only a few stewards reports, which is not too bad, but to be honest, they got to be careful around these conditions tonight as well. With these conditions, that could happen in the race. Expect, I think, not just one safety car, but maybe 2 safety cars with the way that these drivers are driving as well. But for the ones that don't like the rain, they're probably going to be sick of it, because I believe Hungary it rained as well. So these drivers, I think they're probably going to hope it's going to be dry. As I remember last season in Precision, I was watching the races back. I believe most of the races were raining, and I know Nick was sick of it as well. But he doesn't seem to be doing too bad in the wet with no assists, especially. Currently sitting P6. He was unwell last week. That's why he only did 3 laps and decided to call it a day. But to be fair, he's put a lot of practice in the wet. I know of this because he was popping up on Discord a few times saying, do you want to practice? Do you want to practice? And it shows that practice does mean everything. And I know some drivers did not practice in the wet, me being one of them. Thankfully, there was no rain in our prospect race, so I didn't have to worry about that. But for some of the drivers that did not practice, it may come back to bite them as we head towards the final few stages of the race. As Scorpion is about to finish his lap. As the warmer the tyres get, sometimes you'll probably improve on your lap time. I don't think Scorpion is going to do that. He's going to come across the line now. He's actually found a few temps at 1 second, actually. P9, his final sector was a lot better than his other sectors at the moment. So P9, but I'm sure he wants a little bit higher right now. Larkin is going past turn 10. I want to see what his sector 3 time is at the moment. He's not setting greens at the moment. He's a 32.4 compared to a 31.1. So he's a whole second down on his middle sector, which is not ideal. So he needs a miraculous final sector in order to improve a little bit at the moment. And I do believe it's going to improve ever so slightly going into the final part of qualifying. I'm not entirely sure. It may just go worse, but we'll have to wait and see. As Larkin again sliding in that final turn there, again on exit. And yeah, he does not improve at all. He stays in P2. Anyone else on the lap? Scorpion has invalidated. Fatalities is going through turn 6 and 7 now.
Yeah, Scorpion purple sector 1, but yeah, he did invalidate. So maybe the drivers find a little bit of grip as Lukey finally gets on board in 13th place. But yeah, we'll start to see a few blue green sectors, mainly from guys at the back, but still a little bit of grip there. But I think that pole that may be unchallenged. I believe we may have the first time this season, we may have the fact that Glock is not going to top the qualification in the first place, which would make it very interesting. Actually, Larkin is purple in the first sector, so there's still some grip in the first sector, but I think maybe the middle sector and the final sector, because the final sector is where you gain the most time as well, the corners are, and the final sector, I don't know about you, but when you nail the final sector, it is quite a joy, but it can be quite monotonous, especially in these wet weather conditions.
Yeah, and I think in some parts of the track the conditions are getting a bit lighter as well, as I was saying, I think on the TAS as well. The beauty of the TAS, we actually get to see the different weather time slots as well, so we can see if the conditions are improving or not improving as well, whereas last season we were like, is it going to rain? Is it going to be sunny? And I like the unpredictability, but we don't get that this season, but at least it tells us what we're going to see as well, and it gives them the Jeffs as well, if they got Jeffs, a chance to look at their dashboard as well. Every driver gets sent engineered dashboard, which they could send to whoever they wish to help them out as well if they wanted to. And Larkin goes into the pits. I'm guessing he was not happy with his lap at all. Janel's about to start his next lap. Anyone about to cross the line for to finish their lap? Carl can't, no. He has invalidated. We got an Aston Martin on his out lap. That is Chris. And we've got an AlphaTauri, which is not Janel. It is Lakito about to start his lap as well with 3 minutes to go on the session. If I were you, if you're not out now, then you may not improve, because the more worn tyres they are around this track with the conditions getting better, the better your lap time will be. So Ricard doing the right thing there as he heads towards the final few corners. Remember, he was Pinnacle Tier champion in in season 17, but because of his no assists, then he's been moved down into her position. Not doing too well, as you can see, which just goes to show if he was in Pinnacle this season, he would have been definitely at the bottom and probably scoring no points. So he's definitely in the right tier there. But you never know. If lots of people make mistakes, the K2 could benefit. And he's doing very well in 8th position right now. So I think Johannes just improved to P5 there with a 143.0. I just talked about Johannes wanting to have a good qualifying, and he's definitely showing that tonight.
Yeah, he is, and the track is getting better. It's not, a lot of drivers definitely improving now. It's got Chris's purple effect, so Johannes, you're looking at a top 10 start. Obviously, drivers have picked him a fancy, maybe not, but yeah, he wants to qualify higher for his own sake, because I believe White Fountain's jumped to the 4th place. Now, White Fountain, we've noticed this season, he may not have the pace, but what I've noticed with him, he's very difficult to overtake. He seems to always have good tyre wear, and he seems like get excellent track shot corners. So if he qualifies high up, he may be a difficult driver to get by as Verheinen's purpled. Verheinen's getting quicker, so a lot of these guys are improving as we Janos up to 6th place. So yeah, that's better for the Alpha Tauri, man. But I expect Alpha Tauri to do better than the are this season. I expect them to be a contender for Constructors' Championship, but it hasn't fallen for them yet.
Yeah, especially with Janel being an ERT driver, obviously Dexter being the team manager along with ERT Thomas, you would expect Janel to be contention with the Drivers' Championship and the Constructors, but he is finding his feet a bit after a couple of seasons, well, a season off actually, so you do get a bit rusty sometimes, especially on a new game. The handling is different as well, it takes a good while to get used to, and even him saying that Janel was thinking of retiring, but he's done a Felipe Massa and Fernando Alonso. Well, he's done a Fernando Alonso actually, retired, and then a few years later, a few seasons later, has come back as he's going through turn 10. Yellow flag, I think it's just people moving out the way, I think, as these conditions are getting worse. Jano, I think, setting purple sets as well. Johanna's moving up into P4 with 1 minute and 20 seconds to go. I wonder if people are going to do a George Russell technique, save some battery on the final, penultimate lap, and then on the final lap really push. And I think I'm just seeing quite a few people, with the conditions improving, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 drivers, they're on the intermediate tyres.
Yeah, they are. They're taking the gamble. Scorpion. Oh yeah, they're going to get round though. They're going to get round.
Yeah.
So this could be Fernando Alonso Silverstone type situation, as Scorpion's light up timesheet at the moment. The Alpha Aston Martin man, maybe all Aston Martin front row, but these Inter guys get the lap in. It may change rapidly. The track is improving a lot, and I did notice in doing my practice earlier that around here the track does drive very fast, and yeah, if you get a good lap, if you get a lap on the board, you'll be way quicker. But Scorpion is going to take pole position, but will he be able to hang on across the line?
Here he comes then. Let's just see which tyre is the best, the wets or the inters, and he can only manage P5, so he improved by 1.3 seconds, but not enough to get into the front row near where Chris is, but the times are just so close. Margin for error is key, as we got double rage yellows in set 2. Again, it's just people moving out of the way. Larkin is just about to start his lap, as we got Glock, who is in the middle of his lap now. I think he's going to be one of the first people on those inters to improve. Kyle Riley buys on those inters. They cannot improve on their times. They stay where they are, as Glock will see if the inters make a difference for him. Johannes can't improve. He stays in 7th position. He has retired from the session in the pits, I believe. But let's see what Glock could do. He's already going through the start-finish straight very quickly. This could be a stalking lap time, 140.3. So yeah, the inters are the tyres to be on. So watch out for XL Larkin, who is looking to end Glock's pole position streak, which I have to say, Glock has done miracles. I have to say, we're getting pole positions. We'll see where Janel comes actually across the final corner on those wets, because between I think 2nd and 4th there's not much in it, so he could be on the front row potentially. So the Keto has retired, so Janel comes across the line. No, B doesn't improve, he's 2nd off, so let's watch out for I'm just trying to see who's finishing off their lap. I think we got one of the Aston Martin, the Scorpion. There he goes into the pit. Larkin, can he get within Glock's 140.3? It's going to be very, very tight, I think. We'll find out very shortly. 139.8, the only driver into the 139. He smashed it by quite some margin, actually. Chris, the Aston Martin driver, comes across the final corner now, and he's not going to improve. Verheyen has binned it, and that is it for qualifying, and it just goes to show the Inters were the quicker tyre, and Larkin has beaten the streak of Glock's pole position there. So Larkin, last week's race winner, is definitely on good momentum at the moment, and he takes another pole position.
Yeah, I think Glock maybe timed that a bit wrong, and maybe he set his lap a little bit too early, because I think Larkin Depp had their better conditions in their lap then. Like, so J-Luke was actually behind Glock, but he invalidated his lap, so J-Luke missed a great opportunity there. So did Kyle, who didn't get his lap in, and also Fatality and Riley, they didn't get their laps in. But yeah, I have to say the front two, it's a second pole position for Larkin and Mercedes, and wow, that was a great gamble there. And Glock wasn't looking that strong in qualifying, but he took the gamble. He's on the front row. He's got Larkin and Glock on pole. They're the only two guys set the laps in the intermediates. We've got Chris in third, Jarno in fourth. Good qualifying for him. Scorpion in fifth, Verheyen in sixth, Johannes seventh. He actually got a good qualifying in. Whitefire in eighth. So them two had strong qualifyings. J-Luke in ninth, Nick in 10th, Lakita in 11th, Kyle in 12th, Lukey in 13th, Colin 14th, Fatality in 15th, Riley 16th, and Sonny Bob, with his qualifying ban, is at the back of the grid.
There we go then. So just look at the gaps between, I would say, P3 all the way down to, I would say, P9. That's just insane. So imagine how close it's going to be for the race, as the drivers are going to wake up to a pretty much dry start of the session, a cloudy start of the session. The air temperature will be 20 degrees, track temperature 28. As the rain expected, it's going to be 11%, but it's going to really increase around 20 minutes, 30 minutes in. So watch out for that. As my tablet just almost fell on the floor there, which was not ideal there as well. And it gives us a great opportunity to talk about our sponsors, Jamie.
Yeah, it does, yeah. So we want to thank everybody for their support. We're sponsored as the past 4 or 5 seasons now by Next Level Racing, who are sponsoring the league by providing an NLR Direct Drive stand to our Driver at the Season Award. That's a brand new award for this season. Also sponsored by 3M Sim Racing, who are sponsoring the league by providing a pair of sim racing gloves to the driver with those combined poles and fastest laps. And Glock is looking good for that this season, but he got pipped to it tonight. Our partners are Versabatine, who are sponsoring our prizes. We've got more prizes than ever this season. And we're all sponsored by ERT, who are providing the Go and Get Stuff award. And we have 3 ERT drivers in this tier. We have Jarno, Nick, and Kyle.
There we go then. So we're about to get underway with the race then, as I just get my telemetry up on my screen. There we go. We're looking at the tyres. So don't forget, one thing that we didn't mention, because it was a full wet qualifying for pretty much the majority of it and nothing was dry, they all get free choice of tyres, which means every single driver could choose what strategy they want to go to. And don't forget, mandatory 2-stop rule for these drivers, but I'm sure they're not going to have a problem with that tonight with the changeable conditions that these drivers have on offer. And it's quite dark already, so the rain could come sooner than you think. So we got Larkin, Glock, Jano on the mediums, as well as Johannes, Lakitu, Colin and Vitality. We got Chris in third on the soft compounder tyres, as well as Scorpion Hun, Verheyen. We also got White Fountain on the softs, Nick on the softs, Lukey on the softs, and Sonny Bob, who's starting at the back of the grid, is on the softs as well. And only about 2 or 3 drivers on the hards. That is J-Luke, ERT Kyle, and Riley Byes. So all 3 tyres being used. So the hard runners, they're thinking that the rain's going to come a bit later. Medium runners is going to be like in between. It may come a bit later, may come a bit earlier. Softs, they think the rain is going to come very soon. I don't know what tyres I would pick if I was the drivers, but, you know, the drivers are going to hope that they got their jets with them, because they're going to be the ones making the calls. But we'll see by the end of this which drivers have made the good strategy, and we may see a lot of comeback drives tonight the way this is going.
Oh, exactly, and obviously the weather in this league is set to approximate, so it is an estimation, but yeah, drivers don't know. And I wonder if a safety car comes out lap 1, whether them soft guys will pit and get pit stop out the way. That could be one to keep an eye out for. And maybe soft guys thinking, it might get too. Maybe think it's not going to be long enough for mediums, but they may think, get 2 sets of softs together, because obviously all the tyres are fresh for the race. So yeah, this is interesting. All these different tyres. The hard tyres are going to be struggle on the first few laps.
Yeah, exactly. As we're waiting for the final 2 drivers to make their way on to the grid. 27 laps await our drivers tonight. Every single tyre potentially is going to be in use, in particular the intermediates and the 4 wets. And we're going to see the drivers' dry lap pace for the very first time. So we have got Larkin on pole, Glott alongside. The 5 red lights are coming on at the circuit. Paul Ricard for the position tier for season 19 of One Up Racing, and we are underway. Larkin gets a very good start from Glott. Chris also gets a good start right in the middle as well. Visibility is very, very hard, so turn 1 is going to be tricky as we got the 2 McLarens making their way. Glott getting a good run into turn 2 as he's in the lead of this race. Johannes is trying to make his way up into 5th place. We already got yellow flags in the background. ERT Carl has had a moment as well. Riley Byes, I think, and Fatality's had a bit of issues as well, but the top 3 just making their way round, and we have some more yellow flags. That is Sonny Bob, who started at the back after his quali ban. He has, I think, got a bit of damage as well. We'll check Taz in a second for you. J-Luke up into 12th position, but Glott with that start definitely meaning business. But let's look at Chris actually into turn 8. He's going to dive up the inside of Glock into turn 8. No, not quite thinks better of it, but Glott in the lead at the moment on the mediums though, so I wonder if Chris and Scorpion are struggling on those softs, but we'll have to find out very, very shortly.
Yeah, Chris has got a great run here into Labose, but it's going to be very brave on the inside here. Look what he's going to do. He's surely going to have to do it on them soft tyres. Yes, he could say down the inside. Will Glott give him the room. Round the outside, Chris off the inside line. So Chris, I believe, might have got this move done, but Glott will fight it. He's off the inside line now, but Chris going all the way around the outside. Can he get this move done? Oh my God, look at the banging wheels. Chris on the curb, and he's taking the lead, has he? Glott, he's still there though. Glock is still there, but he's gonna maybe have got to concede in the final corner, maybe go for the switch back into turn 1. But Chris is gonna lead the first lap, but Glock has got a great run into turn 1.
Yeah, he has. Brilliant racing from those 2, both leaving each other room, and that's just what we needed here in the position tier as we now head towards turn 1 now. Glott cannot get past, unfortunately, and we did see a yellow flag, I think, for White Fountain. He has binned it, and he's down into 14th position. Lots of position changes for the drivers. We have Lukey that's gained 6, Akitu up 3, Scorpion up 2, and Lukey could get another position here as he gets past Johannes up into 2. I think it was turn 5, I think, actually. I'm losing track of the corners. But yeah, Lukey doing a very good job. We could get past Jano here as well. His straight line speed is amazing up here as we head towards lap 2 as DRS is not activated just yet. Fatality is trying to make a move past Colin Mason. He's up at the moment. He is in the points at this moment in time. Top 12 score points, and you also get points for the fastest lap inside the top 10 and fastest lap outside the top 10. Scorpion, though, looks like he's got a good run on Glott in and heading towards turn 10. Chris just falling away a little bit, and let's see Scorpion getting the switch back into turn 11. This could be the move that he's looking for. You got to get the move done now, really, before the wet weather comes, if it does come, because don't forget the weather is set to approximate. Again, it's the same similar move that Glott was trying out earlier with Chris, and this time it's the other Aston Martin driver. The Aston Martin trying to extend their lead in the Constructors' Championship. Goes towards the final corner, clips that right-hand curb. Oh, no margin for error there. There could have been contact. But Scorpion makes it, and Aston Martin 1-2. But Glott again is going to get a brilliant run into turn 1. Is he going to go for the lunge? DRS is enabled then this lap, which could mean anything for Glott. Maybe he wants to get the DRS heading in towards turn 7 and 8 very, very soon. Past turn 2, heading towards turn 3 and 4 then. This is nail-biting stuff. Glock struggling a bit there, but the Aston Martins, they're playing a team game at the moment.
Yeah, it just shows you, as I mentioned, the delta between soft and medium is 1.1 seconds. I've seen it here. Just look how much good the softs are. Look at Lukey. Lukey's fine as well. But yeah, the two, it was basically a repeat. But obviously got top DRS now, so he may fancy repass here, but I think he's too far back. But yeah, as mentioned, Larkin had an awful start there. He's down to 4th place, but you can see his championship elves ahead. He's got to keep out of trouble and maybe back into it. But yeah, it's looking like beautiful sunshine at the moment. This rain, I think, is a good 3-4 laps left. So I believe this rain will come after the soft guys are going to have to pit, as a White Fountain and Colin, I believe, may have come to blows there as they're dropping down the order.
Yeah, but I think those two, are struggling in these dry conditions at the moment, which is not ideal, but still plenty of laps still to go and still plenty of drama that can still unfold. So let's hope Right Fountain and Colin do not give up, because it is the Going Gets Tap award that could still be on offer if you do not give up. That's the title suggests at the moment. So Chris currently leads by 1.2 seconds, but will the gap increase later on? So I think if pretty much the rain holds on until the medium runners pit, because I think they last 13 laps, this could work very well for the likes of Glock, Larkin, Janel as well. But we're seeing Lukey is looking like he's going to go for a move in turn one, maybe on the left hand side. Nope, he can't. Janel holds on to the right hand side. Good defending from the position champion of many seasons gone by. Excuse me, as I am struggling to breathe at the moment. But anyway, Lukey is going to get a run on Janel, then heading towards turn 7 and 8. DRS activated then. This could be his breakthrough moment. Good comeback so far on those softs. And don't forget, the soft tire is a massive difference compared to the medium. So this should be an easy move for the Alfa Romeo driver. Nobody stayed behind, but it's going to be so hot. Yellow flag, that is Sonny Bob, I think.
That's Riley, I think. Riley spun around. But yeah, the reason why Luke didn't get by there is because Janel had DRS, but now Luke is going to have to go for it. It's going to go around outside. Janel's just giving just enough space on the curb. Janel's defending is very aggressive. He get contact there. Luke goes wide, but thankfully he was able to hang on. But yeah, Janel giving a bit of a squeeze there, and Lukey was not able to take advantage, and Lukey's softs will be starting to go off now, so he's got to get his move done this lap or the softs will start to die off. And you mentioned that the mean guys may have been advantage with the intermediates come, but let's not forget it's a mandatory 2-stop. If it comes and these soft guys have already picked another set of softs and they do a set of intermediates, they can go to the end, and these guys in mediums have to pit again, so the guys in the mediums will be hoping that the heavy rain comes.
Yeah, exactly. So let's see what the medium runners can do, and the soft runners, they could still be back in this race as well. Don't forget the hard runners as well. They may be expecting for the inters to be a little bit far reach at this moment in time as well. And even though TAS is predicting storm at this moment in time, due to the fact that it is approximate, it may not happen. The rain may not come at all, and the drivers are going to be alert as well, and they may be on the wrong strategy. So it may come down to luck more than strategy at this moment in time, I think, in terms of what tyres people are select. But there we go. I'm just watching J-Luke at the moment, currently in 11th place, battling with Nick, and he's running out of ERS a lot at the moment on this back straight into turn 8. I think Nick has got plenty, so I think Nick's going to hold on, and he's catching up to the likes of Hainen, Lakitu as well. Lakitu, I would say, is his strongest race so far in the position tier. Look at the straight line speed he's got into turn past turn 9 and heading towards turn 10 then, as he tries to fight off JM for 7th position so far. Johannes having a strong qualifying. He's not having a strong race, and I think the bad luck is coming back to bite him at the moment. Hopefully he has a strong qualifying and a strong race. We don't want him to have a strong qualifying and a poor race. We want him to have both, but he's losing pace a little bit. He's going to hope the rain comes very, very soon. As Lakitu's up into 7th place. Chris is in boxing. Scorpion stays out for one final lap, because obviously you can't double stack on this game. So what will Chris go on to? I think maybe another set of softs maybe would probably be the way to go if the rain is coming. But no, he wants to act as if it's a dry race all the way through. So he goes on into the medium compound tyres. Nobody else, though, who's on the softs is opted to box. Lukey stays out. Bahanen and Nick also stay out, and so does White Fountain. So yeah, Chris pulling the trigger there.
He's dropped all the way to 16th place. Shows how close the field is. But yeah, the mean tyres, that they last about 14-15 laps, so he's good to around lap 20. If the rain comes around lap 20, he's in a good position. But I think it may come a little bit earlier than that. As I was going to mention, I believe these soft starting diapers, Glock is starting to claw Scorpion back in, and yeah, I believe Johannes might be in a wet setup, because his straight line speed isn't that strong, even in the slipstream. So I think Johannes may be hoping for the rain to come a little bit earlier, as his car looks a little bit difficult in this dry weather phase, as Lakitu and Sonny Bob have penalties already, and that's not a good start getting penalties in lap 5.
Yeah, and I think a few drivers have got a few warnings as well. Glock has got 1 warning, Lukey's got 2 warnings, so he's 1 warning short of a penalty, and he's Lakitu obviously got a penalty there as well. Johannes on both on 1 warning, with Bahanen as well, and J-Luke's got 1 warning fatality, and Colin both had 2 warnings. Kyle has 1, and Chris also has 1 warning, and Wiley Bice has 2 warnings. So that's the beauty that we can see with the TAS system, developed by obviously Tebow. So thank you very much to him for his hard work developing this system, improving every single season. So thank you to him. As we got Scorpion and Lukey in the pit. Same with Right Founding. I'm sure they're going to cover off Scorpion, who not Scorpion, the other Aston Martin driver, as he pitted a lap ago. As he heads towards the final corner now, it's going to be very, very tight, heading towards this pit straight. And don't forget, the pit lane exit cuts onto the racing line. So Chris just about gets ahead of his teammate, but it is still a net 1-2 for the Aston Martin guys as well. So I wonder if there'll be team orders, or will they be allowed to race? I hope they'll be allowed to race, but constructors' points also mean anything as well, because they also mean prizes as well, and trophies. And if the Drivers' Championship is won by either Chris or Scorpion, then they can have a massive trophy cabinet at the end of this season. So definitely a good strategy for Chris and Scorpion. I thought Scorpion would have lost time there by pitting a lap earlier, but he doesn't seem to be losing a lot of time. He's on fresher tyres, and he could get past Chris here. Yeah. And yeah, he's going to get past him. I think he's warmed his tyres up to perfection into turn 8. A bit squirmish on exit there. This may have given Chris a little bit more of breathing space as they head towards his back straight of turn 9 and 10. Let's see what he could do as he goes to the right a little bit. No, he stays behind, but looks like Chris is a little bit more confident, but Scorpion was a little bit more brave there. As Glock on the mediums, he decided to pit. I thought they would pit around about lap 10, but I'm guessing he wants to go in very early. And we got another soft runner in. That is Nick. He goes in for, I believe, a set of mediums, or will he go on for the soft compound tyres? Glock is doing the opposite to what the medium runners are doing. Glock is going for softs, and to be honest, that's what I would have done, knowing if the rain was coming sooner.
Yeah, I think the rain is coming sooner. I think that was a good idea for Glock to maybe cover off the late front two. And I was like saying, the Aston Martin guys, they've got to be careful. They're fighting not to hold each other up. And Glock, this is going to be quite close between Glock and the Aston Martins. But Glock, well, look at this, how close it is. But they're through. They're just ahead. But Glock on them soft tyres, it'll be the reverse at the start of the race. Glock will be so much quicker than the Aston Martins. And Chris, he's got to try. I think Chris has got to act as a bit of a holder. He's got to try and hold the Red Bull up to allow Scorpion to pull away in DRS. As I was on board with the AlphaTauri guys, they just swapped down the pit straight, so the keeper has been let through. And look how close Glock is getting to the back of this Aston Martin.
Yep, he is as well. And even though Chris is being purple in set to 3, Glock, I think, starting a purple set to 1 as well. So Glock is looking very, very impressive as he's going to go into this back straight. Then DRS enabled. Then, not much space left at all between these two drivers. A little bit of contact between the two. Glock's lost a bit of time there, but he's gaining a bit more on straight line speed. I think that's what his setup is more catered to at this moment. And Glock is way quicker than the Aston Martin driver of Chris. So Glock gets past Chris up into 12th place. He's in the points at that point, and he's going to hope that the rain is going to come sooner, because otherwise he's going to struggle a little bit, because he'll have to pit one more time on the dries. Otherwise, Sonny Bob is on the softs. For Hayden is boxing. He's left it a little bit too late, because don't forget the softs could only last 8 laps, and they already passed their sell-by date, so the optimum pace is lost. So I think the medium tyres, obviously got past Verheyen at the moment, our current championship leader. So Verheyen comes in as another team. I think it's Alfa Romeo also in the pits as well. Verheyen goes in on the medium compound tyres, and I think we got Sonny Bob also in the pits for the mediums too. And obviously we got Larkin, Lakitu, Janel, Johannes, J-Luke, Vitality all staying out. And they're going to hope, but the disadvantage is they'll have to stop twice on these on the wets if the wets come sooner, so they may be definitely in trouble. But you know, we haven't had any safety cars, and we had no VSCs yet, touch wood. So but I probably jinxed myself, as we got a yellow flag in set to 1. That is J-Luke, the McLaren, who has had a bit of a moment, but I don't think he's got damage. I think he just went a bit wide there.
Got stuck with the Scorpion here, so I turned up. Got to go around outside in turn 1. I saw Scorpion set the fast lap. That was a false fastest lap, because got getting to second on that lap, and he's going to pull away now. And yeah, he's going to pull a nice gap in. He's got to hope this rain comes quite quickly, because if Scorpion can hang on DRS, it may work for him to his advantage. If the rain, it's still bright sunshine. The clouds starting to come over, but this rain, I don't think it's going to hit. Our Xbox tyres have run out before the rain comes, as we've got another spinner in set 2. I believe that is Sonny Bob, who is not having such a good race tonight.
No, please not. But he's still in the race, of course, and knowing with the weather conditions could change. If I were him, I would stay in this race. But I think it's going to be a danger that he's going to be lapped, so not ideal for him at all as well. So we've got Lakitu and Janel. We're not used to them being in second and third on the road, but don't forget they've yet to stop. This reminds me, obviously, of the position and the pinnacle days back in season 16 and 17, where we used to them fighting in the front. But for now, they're fighting being the best of the rest. We're seeing fastest lap time by the dozen at this moment in time, as Glock setting fastest middle and final sector, with the fastest sector 1 heading to Scorpion Hunt at this stage. So we're seeing different consistencies at the moment. Riley Bice goes in from his Sev hard, so I'm guessing he's not too happy. I was racing on the hards in Prospect. They weren't good at all because of the understeer, and Riley has got front wing damage, and I just want to see quickly before it was, I think, 100% front wing damage left and right, so you definitely had to pit there. And the track is getting darker, so rain is coming and the track temperature is dropping as well. So yeah, it's going to be very, very tight. I don't know how long it has been of this race, but we are getting to the overcast moment. So if it is, air temperature is down to 19 degrees. Track temperature down to 27 from 29 earlier on. So very different there. Another yellow flag, I think, is one of the McLarens once again. We were struggling a little bit.
Puncher. So Sonny Bob's got rear tyre puncher. That's why it's going slow. He had a rear puncher. I just noticed that.
Yeah.
Rear right, I believe. Rear left, sorry. So he is coming the pits. He's lost a lap because of that. Because obviously with a rear puncher, you have to go out crawling pace to get round to the pits, and that's why he was going off all the time. His rear tyres went. He went too low on them softs, and that's if you go too low on the softs, that's what happens. It's just puncher and delaminate. As Jano and Lakitu are close together, and look at Johannes. Johannes having a strong race, I have to say. Not pitted, of course, but he's keeping up with these two guys who were in pinnacle tier in the past.
Yeah, that is great to see at the moment. And to be fair, Johannes was in the podium tier last season, and he just missed out on being a champion. Obviously, Casper, who's not here tonight, won that one, so chance for him to score some points and get it ahead of him in the drivers' championship, as Glock gets past Colin on the road on his precious soft onto 8th position, and he gets past his teammate as well. I'm sure Kyle will let him through. And yeah, Glock is definitely the prime star. Oh, that was a bit squirmy from the Red Bull boys. This reminds me of Red Bull and Vettel when they almost came together. Well, they have came together quite a few times, but luckily that didn't affect them too much. But yeah, Glock definitely the favourite to be winning this race, definitely by starting on the mediums and going on to the soft tyres. Only driver to have done so. Everybody else on the mediums has stayed out. Oh, Larkin almost, actually no, Lakitu almost pitted, but he decided not to. Channel's not pitted either. Johannes staying out. J-Luke doing well on those hards, actually, in 5th. He's stayed out as well. Fatality as well could be on for his first point of the season if he could keep it on the road, but he's got a penalty though, and he's staying out also on those mediums. Sonny Bob has probably just made a mistake there as he's on the inters.
Yeah, obviously maybe it was pit the tyres for the rain came on. It's starting to rain actually. I've just noticed it's starting to rain, but it's nowhere near wet weather. But yeah, I was going to mention with Glock and Kyle there, Kyle's on 10 lap old hards and Glock's on 3 lap old softs. So I can imagine the tide out there being about 3 seconds. So no wonder Glock caught him so quickly. And thankfully for Red Bull's sake, they did not collide. But Glock lost some time, but Kyle's able to keep his position, that's good. But yeah, the rain is falling and Jarno has been overtaken by Johannes. And obviously when it does start to rain, drivers tend to lose more grip, and this is going to help Glock further, because in the wet weather you need to run the grippiest tyre possible. And yeah, this is working out a dream for Glock at the moment. Look, he's on the back of Vitality already, and he's pulled a nice gap to score behind for about 2 seconds. So yeah, Glock's in the pound seats at the moment. Obviously he's going to pit for Inters, and will Inters get... I wonder how long Inters last. I didn't really test that out before. I believe Inters
same as the mediums.
Half a race. Yes, they will last half a race. So if he does come in now and he doesn't get wet enough, Glock, as he goes on the curb there, you don't want to do that in these weather conditions. You can easily lose it. But yeah, he's still plenty of grip at the moment. But the rain's starting to come down quite heavy. So I think maybe two laps time would be time for Inters. But Sonny Bob's losing loads of time, so it wasn't time for Inters yet. But he had to make gambles at the back of the field.
Yeah, sometimes I like to make gambles sometimes, but usually if I make gambles it doesn't pay off, unfortunately, and I think Sonny Bob has to pay the price for that as well. And the best tyres I think to be in these changeable conditions when it's cusp between the inters and the slicks, it's definitely the softs, and Glock is definitely proving that right now. Scorpion gets past Kyle then up to 8th, and I think I could see Scorpion struggling a lot there at this moment in time, and the sun is trying to peak up a little bit at this moment in some parts of the track. Sector 1 especially. Sector 2 is I think a lot darker compared to the other parts of the track. Colin gets another penalty as well, and Johannes could actually gain another position maybe of Lakita as well. Don't forget Johannes hasn't got any penalties so far. He's on 2 warnings though, so he's on the cusp of getting a penalty, and with these conditions being not good to drive at all, he may get one soon, and it may come down to people with the less penalties doing well here today at this moment in time. We've got another yellow flag as it's so hard to drive at the moment, but definitely not the right tire to be on the inters at this moment in time, because the track is not wet enough. Oh,
it's not far away. I don't think it's far away. I think another lap as he's starting to rain a bit heavier. I wonder if one of these guys may gamble, like Larkin and Lakita will come in at. You might struggle early on, but no, they're going to stay out. Yeah, they're going to stay out. I think another lap and it will be inters for sure.
Yes, as we're on pretty much halfway into this race so far. I'm a bit cautious to why the top 5 are leaving, because they have to stop twice. Nobody else has to stop twice. Again, I think Glock, Scorpion, Chris, Verheyen, Lukey, Nick, White Fountain, Riley Byers and Sonny, they have stopped at least once, with Riley Byers and Sonny already done their 2 stop. But again, they will have to pit for the inters as well, as Riley Byers has taken that big gamble, but it might work out, you know, as the track is very slippy, and there's still puddles starting to form just a little bit, so Riley might have made a strategy masterclass, and it could pay off. He's a little bit further back from the likes of White Fountain and Nick, so he could get lapped anytime soon, as Janel's looking good in these wet conditions. He could be on for some good solid points for ERC and obviously AlphaTauri, as I'm seeing Johannes actually running our VRS actually, which is why his light is flashing. As Scorpion does get past Fatality, as Scorpion is up into 7th position on the road, and he's still doing a pretty decent job, but Glock is just running away with it on these soft tyres, about a second difference in the medium, so to be expected.
Yeah, they'll be in this lap because Riley is keeping the front 2. They'll be in this lap for inters, I'm sure. But yeah, Glock is in the pound seat at the moment. He doesn't have to do another pit stop. Obviously, if it does come heavy rain, then Larkin may take advantage, but Larkin has got to do the rain dance at the moment. He's got to hope this rain's cats and dogs. Yeah, they are all coming in this lap. No surprise there, as they can tell.
It's definitely inters.
He's got to be careful with that pit entry. You could get a 5-second penalty, but I think it's okay.
And he's taken the speed marker boards, I think, with him as well, which is not ideal. So if people speed in the pit lane, it'll be probably their fault. Glock stays out.
Wow, that's interesting. Oh, the pit.
Has he bottled the strategy? Well, there's only one way to find out very, very soon, as everyone else has opted to box. Chris has stayed out too. Well, he had no other choice, did he? So I can understand.
You say that, but I think you may lose more time in doing double stack. I think Chris may have made a mistake there. We'll wait and see, but I think Chris may have made a mistake there, because this track looks very treacherous. He's still got 3/4 lap to do. I think Chris may have made a mistake there. I'd have pitted and lost time in double stack. I know he needs about 4 or 5 seconds, but I think he may lose more time on these inter conditions. Look how close Larkin is. We see how much Larkin claws in. Look how wet the track's got all of a sudden.
Yeah, definitely. I think DRS disabled then, and Larkin's already catching up to the likes of Chris and Glock then. So yes, the top 2, they made a mistake. Glock has bottled, ladies and gentlemen, the race victory. Who would have thought it? But don't forget, Larkin will need to stop one more time, as do some of the other drivers as well. So this could be very, very tight indeed, as Glock will probably drop his way down massively through the field. He's just crawling around, same with Chris too, and Larkin, this could be an easy move for him, but I think Chris is not going to make it look easy. Larkin does not want to be held up, and yeah, that is an easy move for Larkin, and I'm a bit worried Chris could be passed by Lakita anytime soon, but I think Chris may make it to the pits in time, as Glock comes in. Yeah, I think the drive runner's definitely made a mistake there. That just game all quick all of a sudden. I was not expecting that, but with the storm predicted towards the end of the race, that could mean the hint of obviously rain getting heavier and heavier. And all Sonny Bob has retired from the race.
Safety car.
Safety car? Oh, I think it is a safety car, but it's not telling me.
Yeah, safety car.
Okay.
Yeah, safety car. So Chris is saved. Chris and Glock have been saved there by the safety car. They're going to lose some places, but they're going to lose a lot more than what they've done before. I wonder if these front four will pit. These guys are yet to pit. I wonder if they'll pit again under the safety car, or will they stay out? To stay out, it tells to me that it's going to get heavy at the end of the race. But yeah, wow, how lucky were Chris and Glock there with that safety car?
Yeah, they were. They're back in this race, and I did say that they might bottle it, but Glock is all the way up into 5th position right now as well, and Glock is in the driving seat once again. So, to be honest, if we speak bad things about them, they usually do quite well. So there we go. Glock, you're welcome. He has been the most luckiest driver ever tonight, even after that bottle. So you can thank Sonny for that one as well. But Larkin, Lakitu, J-Luke and Johannes, do you think they would have liked that safety car? I don't know. I don't have a clue, but we'll see as they all go into the pits. They're going to drop way down because everyone else is boxed, but the gaps are quite massive at the moment. Riley Byes, I believe, will be lapped, or already lapped already.
He's back on the lead lap, so Riley Byes should stay out this lap and he'll be back on the lead lap. If he pits this lap, he's going to lose lap again. He should stay out because obviously he hasn't caught the safety car yet. So Riley's quite lucky there. He got his lap back.
That is good, but it's going to take a while for the field to catch up. I experienced that, I think, season 17 in Japan when I was a lap down, and because of the safety car, I was able to catch up, and to be honest, I was relieved that happened, and that I was able to get my best result of One Hub Racing then as well. So we're seeing something similar there as well, as Riley does stay out.
Larkin's in.
Lakitu's in. J-Luke has got to follow surely, and he just stops the car in time. Thank goodness, J-Luke. Johannes is in.
Glock will take the lead. Glock will take the lead.
Because the pit lane loss is 30 seconds. So, yeah, that's definitely going to be the race lead for Glock. Scorpion will be in second. But they have got to keep to a delta, because if they don't, by 10 seconds, they will be getting a drive-through penalty, which could ruin their strategy. And I think Scorpion, will he come across the line in second?
Yeah.
Yes, he will. And Larky will just come across the line in third position. And Lakitu, where did he come from? He's all the way up into 4th position. Where is this man been all season? This wet weather running could mean anything for the pinnacle tier champion of season 17. Lakitu could be back here, especially with no assists as well. I'm sure he must be loving this right now, but the pressure, he needs to pretend that he has no pressure and make sure that he could challenge the front guys, because it's going to be very, very hard, especially with no line, no traction, no assist at all for Lakitu. But Lakitu is doing a fantastic job, but I'm not going to say too much because I really don't want to jinx him. But yeah, insane stuff from the AlphaTauri driver.
Yeah, and this rain is really getting heavy now. I wonder if this heavy rain is going to come. Look how heavy the rain is now, and yeah, that's incredible. Obviously, Lakitu just needs a bit of rain, but he's got this time penalty, which will drop him down unless he can pull a gap. Yeah, that's impressive for the AlphaTauri. They're having a bit of a comeback now, AlphaTauri. Obviously, Yano, maybe not so much, but yeah, it's good to see Lakitu up here, because he definitely has some great pedigree in this league. As Nick was asked in the rivalry about Casper, who's not here today, he was asked, is your plan to keep it to yourself, more benefit Williams? And Nick answered, well, he's not too sure. He thinks Casper should be focusing on his own performance like himself, and he hasn't checked the standings. So Nick bad league owner, not checking his own standings for this tier. I'm quite surprised by that.
Yeah, I think I always like to check standings in our own tiers so we know where we are, and if I don't see where my rivals are, then I'm probably going to be very, very annoyed as well and probably look like a fool. So, Nick, you meant to be setting an example, and you haven't done so far with that rivalry.
Safety car's in this lap, I believe, is it?
Let me have a look. Yes, it is. I think the safety car's coming in. It didn't pop up on my screen. It's just an annoying glitch that we're getting, that it doesn't show there's a safety car or the safety car coming in. So thank you for pointing that out. So Glot is going to be leading to field away. He's leaving it nice and late, actually, at this moment. He's caught everyone off guard, and I think the Mercedes of Larkin has got a brilliant restart of a Scorpion Hunt as they all make their way towards turn 1 again. Chris has had a tremendous restart. He almost tried to go around the inside of Lakitu as Chris has got a 3-second time penalty. So much easier to get penalties in the wet channel. Also getting a time penalty as well. Some of the people have got no penalties. They may be able to get podiums out of all of this. Nick getting a good run on Janel. He gets past him up into P10. He could get past Johannes here if Johannes is not careful. Potentially Janel almost squirming a little bit. Both of them trying to leave as much space as they can, please. No contact, lads, but it's so hard to see in the wet. Janel running a bit wide, and I think Nick may have to concede there, but he's not giving up with our fight. Look at this, 2 legends of the league fighting against each other, both from ERT. We have a spinner, that is for Haynen.
And J-Luke, I think, as well. They've both spun it round. Oh, yeah, so J-Luke got contact there, but yeah, the two came together. Yeah, no, did he go off track to get that move done? That's quite interesting, but he got them here done there as Scorpions. I'm really struggling with this restart. He's really struggling for traction. Look at Larkin. Larkin is pushing him around the 3rd sector, but he can't take the 3rd sector, and he's going for a dive, and yes, good. Glock's got a nice lead already. This safety car worked beautifully for him as Kyle dropped down the order. Yeah, but Scorpion's not looking too comfortable in these conditions.
Nope, he's not. I think he doesn't like the wet conditions. He likes to dry around France. If it was dry for the whole race, he would have definitely been in contention for the win for sure. But for now, he's just got to get used to it and worry about the drivers behind. The top 6, very close indeed. They don't have to worry about the DRS, I think, for the wet conditions, because DRS is disabled, so all they're going to rely on is pure pace. And I wonder if some drivers have got wet setups or dry setups because they don't know when the rain was going to come, ideally. So that is the unpredictability. Some people on dry, some people on wet. And I can tell who's on wet setup and who's on dry. I could definitely tell that at the moment. And with the engineered dashboards that Taz gives the drivers, they can actually see what setups they're actually running at the moment in time. But we're not going to say it because that would be a little bit rude, because I'm sure there's a few people watching that are cheering on for their favourite drivers, of course. And Nikita's doing well to hold Chris, especially since Chris is higher up in the league than him. But the visibility is getting awful. The spray you can see as well. Puddles may start to form very, very soon as well. But when it gets stormy enough towards the end for a change for the full wets, only one way to find out. Make sure you stay tuned. Don't forget, we've got the Pinnacles here on YouTube going on right now. If you want to watch a bit of that, as they're about to end their qualifying session in a few moments' time. I wonder if they're having any wet weather shenanigans, or are they escaping that? Lucky bastards. Well, I shouldn't really say the B word, but I just did. There we go. So we're approaching lap 20 as Carl is getting past. Nick is struggling as the wet weather is intensifying, unfortunately, but this is the first time he's getting used to these wet conditions with manual gears and no traction. So he did get used to it in Hungary, but he had a few spins that unfortunately caused him to retire. But he's doing a lot better, but I think it's going to be hard for him to score points.
Yeah, but it's just it's a good experience for him. You only learn by doing experience. As I was on board with Larkin, the whole middle sector, he saw the back of Scorpion, but Scorpion's definitely on dry setup because he's pulling away in the wet, but Larkin's so much quicker and straight. And I think Larkin's temptation to get past will be further strengthened because Glock on the last lap picked up a 3-second time penalty. So Larkin can see that race win, but he needs to get by Scorpion because I believe if Scorpion can stay ahead, I believe Glock can pull a 3-second gap, but like Larkin, you can see he wants back-to-back wins, but Scorpion gets a better traction. Larkin's got the better cornering. As Nick is falling down the order, but he's still in 12th place, and if he can keep out of penalty trouble, he may jump back up the order.
And late safety cars, especially with the conditions being treacherous as it is, it could happen, and it will reward people who've got no penalties, which will be the likes of Scorpion, Larkin, J-Lu, Nick, White Fountain, Verheyen. They're the ones who've got no penalties and also benefited from this safety car, and they could jump up massively as well. Glock leads by 2.0 seconds, and just to confirm, because it is wet for the rest of the race, we can confirm that Glock will get the fastest lap out inside the top 10 with a 1:31.672 if he stays in the top 10, of course. But you will get the point wherever he is as long as he finishes the race, as Johannes does get past Janel. I think Janel, yep, he does, but Janel, he's got to be careful there. He was a bit wide. He always went into Johannes there in the final corner. So hard, this final corner in his wet conditions. But it looks like Johannes, I think, has to conceive a little bit there. He's running out of ERS as well. Janel's got 46% battery, and JM's also has only got 10. So here comes Janel. Easy does it. Janel is up into 8th spot. At least Johannes is keeping on the road though, and that could mean anything in terms of the championship. Let's watch out for Larkin again. He's gained once more on Scorpion. I'm just looking at you can look at the ERS on TAS, so I'm just seeing Larkin's on 13 now. Scorpion's on 40, but so that means Scorpion, I think, he can defend more, whereas Larkin, he just got to rely on Scorpion making a mistake in order to attack, I think, by the looks of things. But if the light is flashing, it does mean that they are struggling a little bit with Earth, so they just got to be careful with that.
Yeah, Voss was so few laps after the race. I mean, even does get heavy rain. I believe these guys will stay out on inters now because you lose around 30 seconds in the pits. So unless it becomes monsoon conditions, I expect these guys to stay out. And Scorpion at the moment, if he can hang on, he can get a race winning. Scorpion, he loves it around Hungary, loves it around here, and maybe he didn't expect to be so competitive in the wet, but yeah, he's still... Glock isn't pulling away as much as I thought he would. Scorpion's just about hanging on. We saw this in Hungary as well. So it's the Scorpion, he keeps playing himself down, but he needs to have more belief, because he's definitely got championship contending pace this season.
Yep, he does as well, in the position tier as well, because he's been in points, he's been in... well, he hasn't been in points, but he's been in the equivalent of points, the podium tier, and he just had he has some doubt sometimes on whether he could do it, but Scorpion is proving to himself that he can fend off the likes of Larkin, who was in Pinnacle last season as well, and that will give him confidence going into the next race in Singapore, which Singapore is a very hard track to meister, and if Scorpion gets a good result today, then that will give him pretty much less pressure on him next week, because we will have less points to fight for. I'm almost certain about that, as Fatality has got a 3-second time penalty, but at least he's still on the racetrack and finishing this race. But unfortunately, the way this is going, he's not going to be scoring any points. Colin R. Mason will also end his point streak run if he stayed in 14th position, which will be a bit of a shame considering, but I'm sure you will have something to fight for going into next week. Of course, J-Lu, with having no penalties to his name, he can jump right up, and he's on the back of Lukey at this stage, heading towards turn 10. I'm seeing the track temperature now. Has it dropped significantly? 23% track temperature, 19 degrees air temperature. So the air temperature has just gone up ever so slightly. Yellow flag set to Mercedes. That's Fatality, I think. Yep, he's gone for a spin.
Yeah, it's look at the championship here at the moment. With Ricard's penalties, we may have according to our task date, we may have a 3-way tie for top championship between Glock, Scorpion, and Chris, which would be quite amazing to have that for 4 races. So yeah, he's looking very competitive. Also with Larkin on the fight back, but yeah, Scorpion's actually slowly gaining on Glock. It's quite impressive. Obviously, I think Glock's maybe burning his tyres out a little bit more than. No. Glock's keeping his tyres in better condition, but Scorpion's hanging on. But looking at Scorpion's tyre wear, I think the final few laps may be difficult for him because he's getting close to that 30% window.
Yeah. I think most of the drivers are almost in the 30% window. Riley Byes, I'm looking at Riley Byes' tyres at the moment, 28%, almost 30, and Werner Sonnybob retired. He was on 31. So I'm looking at Lukey though. His fronts are awful. 34%, worst out of anyone. So he's struggling for traction a little bit more, and if he's not careful, the prancing Jamie in the McLaren, who is fighting for as many points as he can muster in this second top tier, is looking to gain more with no penalties, and he's hoping he doesn't get held up by Lukey, because the more positions you gain, the better it will be in terms of the championship for him, which could mean anything in terms of McLaren, of course, because his McLaren teammate Riley Byes not doing so well. So J-Luke fighting for his own at the moment up front, but Larkin again catching up on Scorpion. I wonder what their last time was actually. So Scorpion's last lap was 140.5 and Larkin was 140.6. So Scorpion just a 10th faster than Larkin this lap. So Scorpion doing a very, very good job. Glock gets a penalty, so if Scorpion could just find a little bit more pace, Scorpion could be on course to be winning his first race of the season. Another yellow flag, that's fatality again. He's not loving the life around this track, unfortunately, but I'm not going to be doing the maths on this penalty. I'm just going to let you guys at home do the maths, and you'll be surprised at the end of this race. But yeah, Scorpion looking the favourite, but this could be a very, very good fight for P2 of this race, especially with these two having no penalties at all. This could be for the win.
Yeah, Glock's found a bit more pace that lap. He's pulled 5 tenths that lap, and Scorpion is starting to find the clutches of Larkin again. This is a freeway to fight, as Glock may just do this, you know. Glock seems to be finding a bit more confidence, and Larkin is stuck behind Scorpion. I'm pretty sure Larkin has the same pace as Glock, but he cannot get by. It's so difficult to overtake in these wet weather conditions. As I mentioned, Lakitu in 4th place, but he's got 9 seconds worth of penalties, so Lakitu at the moment he'll fall all the way down to 7th place. So yeah, obviously learning that no line, and maybe he's finding it quite difficult with the track limits.
Yeah, but still, he's still going to get some points, which is probably what he wasn't expecting going into this. So he has dropped back a bit with the penalties, but it just goes to show, we talked about this earlier on in the broadcast, if you keep winning the right lines and all 4 wheels on the track for the whole race, which is very, very hard to do. I managed it somehow, and you almost did, but in the final few laps it came back to bite you. But if you keep it on the lines, then you will be rewarded in the end, as Wiley Buys picks up another 3-second time penalty as well. As you can see, Glock, I'm looking at the way that his lap times at the moment. He's fastest in all 3 sets at the moment. He's definitely pushing. He wants his race victory so bad. He wants his championship lead so bad as well. And we'll see what Verheyen does as well with no penalties. Another yellow flag. Is that Riley Buys again? Yeah, it is Riley Buys going through turn 7, unfortunately. I'm surprised we haven't had any more safety cars at the moment with these conditions. I have to say, very, very impressed with all the drivers today for keeping it clean in these weather conditions. I'm guessing some of the drivers are being a little bit more cautious at the moment, or they're just driving a lot better. So I feel we could see less Stewart reports hopefully this week, as Larkin, he's now lost a bit of time to Scorpion.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think this is Larkin's to lose, unfortunately, unless he gains on this back straight, which he does not.
Yeah, Scorpion is round 2. Scorpion has got to pick up a little bit more pace. Scorpion still on for the race at the moment, but look at that gap. It's 2.8, 2.9. It's getting... Glock's only got the 4 warnings, so Scorpion's 1 warning away from penalties. So Scorpion's got a push, but he's got to be careful. He doesn't pick up a penalty. It's so easy to do around here. And look at this. This is... It's not normally a race wins about fighting on track, but at the moment we're looking at timing screens. There's quite a few penalties again, but yeah, this is amazing close. And Glock, I think Glock may have the advantage. Glock seems to be finding more pace, and yeah, it's around 3 seconds. The Scorpion's got to try and pull something out the wall here, but Glock's got a lot more battery, so Glock will surely deploy battery down the straight to ensure he wins this race.
Yeah, exactly, and yeah, he's all within that 3 seconds, but I'm just seeing how many warnings that Glock is on at the moment. He's on 4, so obviously I think he's pretty much fine, I think, in terms of pretty much not getting any, but he's gonna be close, so as long as he doesn't pick another one, he should be absolutely fine. Oh!
Lukey.
J-Luke and Lukey, oh, that was close to contact. But Lukey, bravo with that move. But he does have a time penalty though, so he will jump up. But he's got to get rid of that deficit somehow, so he did the right thing for passing. And with J-Luke, as long as he doesn't get held up, he's going to be on for, I would say, I don't know how much. He could be on for 6th place. There's obviously Lakitu picking up a time penalty.
Might get 5th if
He might
you get
by 5th,
here.
yeah.
Might get 5th,
because
yeah.
with Chris as well. And another yellow flag, again, that is fatality.
Again. Yeah, he's not having a good race. Colin's in the pits, so I think Colin's point streak is over tonight. Yeah, not such a good race for the Williams man. And can Nick sneak a point in 13th? It's going to be quite close. But yeah, look at this though. I think Glock, unless he makes a mistake, I think Glock's got this in the bag. Scorpion cannot keep up with the pace of the Red Bull man.
Yeah, oh no, Nick. He's not going to get points now. He just picked up his first time penalty of the session. So, unfortunately for him, for the league racing owner of Nick, 4-1 Hub Racing, is not going to get any points either, which is not what he wants. Collins picked up a penalty as well. So for Hayden, he doesn't have to fight too much for Nick behind. He could just cruise to the finish. But the guys like Scorpion and Larkin, they have got to absolutely push to the limits. They got no penalties. Joe Luke has got to do exactly the same. This final lap is going to be absolutely intense, and the ones who got less penalties, they will be rewarded, and they'll definitely be in contention for Driver of the Day. This has been an amazing race from all involved. Points tier have also had changeable conditions as well. Same with us here in the position tier, and it's been absolutely amazing to watch. And I think we're looking forward to next week as someone almost goes a bit wide. We got Riley that spun again. Fatality's actually got past him. So Fatality up into 15th place. So that is pretty much a consolation prize for the Mercedes driver that he's going to finish anyway. Fair play to him not giving up. I guess he just want to add another DNF to his name. He doesn't want 100% DNF rate in the league. Riley has actually been lapped. So not good at all. But
Gap's coming down.
Pardon?
Gap's coming down between Scorpion and this can be quite close. Scorpion's had a good lap here, but Glock may have lost some time behind Riley. But yeah, it's pulled it out now. I think Glock's maybe teasing Scorpion here. I think he said if he can win the race, but he just pulls away.
Yeah, definitely, as Riley Byes let Scorpion through. But obviously the car is ghosted, that's absolutely fine. So Glock, where we thought he bought the strategy without the safety car, he thought he would have been lower down. But because of the safety car, and thanks to Sonny, he was back in this race and he looked faultless. Glock comes across the line and he's going to be closing to the championship leader by miles. He wins in. Paul Ricard here tonight. Scorpion comes across the line to take an impressive P2. Larkin, P4. Lakitu will drop down. I think Chris comes fourth. I think J-Luke's going to gain maths. I think he may get fourth, you know.
No.
Yes, he does. He just misses out. He just misses out, but Chris gets fourth. J-Luke gets fifth. Lakitu with an impressive sixth. Lukey seventh, and we've got, I think, Johannes who's... Nick
binned across the line.
Oh, no.
He managed to finish though, but
he missed his finish, but he's missed out on points. And I think we're just waiting for Colin and Fatality to come across the line. And Verhainen just missed out on P9 by 8 tenths. Janon just missed P8 by 6 tenths. No, 5 tenths. Whitefound has missed P7 by 6 tenths as well. So very close in indeed. But if Scorpion pushed a little bit more, he would have won. But I'm sure he'll be happy with second. But Glock is an absolute machine and he wins in Paul Ricard.
Yeah, and he takes over the championship lead as well. So you'll have a 4-point lead over Scorpion, who set the fastest lap. So yeah, Glock is another fast lap for him. So them gloves are looking pretty safe in Glock's hands, I have to say, at the moment. But yeah, Scorpion, another second place for him. When is he going to race? He's like the bridesmaid this season. Larkin on the podium. Got screwed over a bit by the safety car. He was looking good for maybe an alternate strategy, but I think he'll be happy with the podium in the end. But yeah, that was a good race. It's obviously only one DNF, which is quite impressive in them conditions.
Yeah, exactly. I think that the drivers have definitely impressed me so far. And Lukey getting driver of the day, but of course both of us will be voting for our driver of the days in a second. But I think we're already getting used to Glock being near the top step or even on the podium this season. I'm just looking at the standings at the moment with Glock. He has had 2 podiums so far this season, which I have to say is very impressive. 1 win, 1 driver of the day, and now he's going to add another podium to that. 3 podiums out of 4. Same with Scorpion as well. And we've got the Mercedes of Larkin, who now has 2 podiums to his name. And all of a sudden it's dry again. Who would have thought it? Anyway, Glock wins the race with Scorpion Hun, Larkin, Chris, J-Luke, Lakitu, Lukey, White Fountain, Janel, Verhainen, and Johannes rounds up your top 10. And then we've got, and Carl runs up your top 12, sorry. And then we've got Nick and Colin and Fatality. And Riley Bryce, your fast finishes. Fatality finally finishing a race, which is good news for him. But not any points, sadly. So close, yeah, but so far. And your only retirement is Sonny Bob. Fair play to the likes of Verhainen, White Fountain, J-Luke, and I think it's Scorpion and Larkin. the only drivers to not pick up a penalty, which is very hard to do around France, so fair play to them. And now it's come for the difficult task for both of us to choose who will be our driver of the days, which you can vote in the poll later, and our questions. I'm going to find it very, very hard to pick, but Jamie, I'll let you go first.
Oh, this is quite difficult because there wasn't much change in the front order, so this is quite difficult. And I know he got a lot of penalties in the end, but no, I can't pick him. He got a lot of penalties. I'm gonna have to go for Glock, the race winner. I know he got lucky at the safety car, but I think them decisive moves on the Aston Martin on the soft tyres worked out for him, and I'm gonna ask him why did he go another lap on the softs, and were you did you see the safety car coming, or was that a strategical error? And well done on the race win.
Yes, indeed, and it's going to make things even harder now. I think honourable mentions will have to go for Ricard, gained 5 places. I wish I could give it to him, but penalties. If he didn't have penalties, I would have gone for him. Lukey has gained massive 6 places. He looked on fire today. J-Luke gained 4. I'm torn between Lukey and Scorpion Hun for driver of the day, but I don't know who to pick. But because he was able to hold up Larkin, even with a possible dry setup, I have to go for Scorpion. And another podium, another P2 for him. Definitely a contender for the Drivers' Championship. And my question to him is, being the consistent man you are, do you think you are going to win the Drivers' Championship after an impressive performance again in France? And where is that elusive victory that we've been predicting? So there we go. That is your driver of the days. That actually belongs to P1 and P2. Who would have thought it? And you can vote it on a poll later on as well. And just before we go, quick reminder of our sponsors. Thank you to 3M Sim Racing, now providing sim racing gloves to the winner combined for the most fastest laps and pole positions. Speaking of fastest laps, Glock got the fastest lap inside the top 10. Outside the top 10, Nick, even after finishing in P13, he just misses out on the point overall, but he gets a point for fastest lap. So we're getting a 1:32.7. So well done for him. Good consolation prize there. Also thank you to Vespertine, who are also providing our merch this season and also supporting our prizes. Elite Racing Team, who are also sponsoring our ERT Going Against Tough Award. You got to complete all your pre-race and post-race interviews. Also attend every race. And also finally to our long sponsor, Next Level Racing. They're providing a direct drive reel to the driver of the season, a new award this season. And I have to say, a few contenders for that, and I'm very, very excited. So thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully we'll have a full-time commentator next week who will be partnering alongside Jamie in the commentary box. But for now, it's been a privilege to commentate alongside you, Jamie. We haven't had good races in prospect, but this definitely makes up for it with a great position tier race.
Yeah, it does that, yeah. I mean, I was happy with my race. I was just a bit gutted at penalty at the end. I could have got top 4, but decent result. Wasn't maybe the best drive, but few too many mistakes. But yeah, it was a good one. And I enjoyed this race. Nice, clean race. And well done to our podium sitters. Well done, everybody finished the race. And yeah, obviously, thanks for joining me, Jess. And hope you have a nice weekend, everybody. And we'll see you next week for Singapore, which will be a challenge, to say the least.
I'm not looking forward to racing it. I'm dreading it with a passion, so I'm going to put lots of practice in. I think the drivers will be putting a lot of practice in as well. So thank you guys so much for watching. We will see you, well, Jamie will see you next week. I'm not sure if I'm here next week. Depends if we get a full-time commentator or not. I will see you next week for the Singapore Grand Prix. Have a good evening. Make sure you watch the Pinnacle tier, which is live right now on YouTube. Bye-bye.
Good night.
Right, there we go. We were the early tier